Myers and counting. The O'Reilly Factor.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Laura Ingraham, in tonight for Bill O'Reilly. And in the personal story segment tonight, O'Reilly Obama, the interview everyone's waiting for this Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. Bill and the president will come face-to-face for a pregame sit-down at the White House at 4:45 Eastern. Now, you can read all about it on Bill's column. Go to BillO'Reilly.com. It's also in the New York Post, a lot of other fine newspapers. But we have the man himself, Mr. Factor, joining us now by phone. All right, Bill, you doing push-ups, pull-ups? What's the routine to get ready for this big interview?
I'm just clearing my head a little bit. Just had to take care of some things, so I had to take a few days off. But I've been watching, obviously, what's going on in Egypt and with the other important stories. So I won't know till about an hour before the interview exactly how I'm going to use the 15 minutes they're giving us. So, I mean, you know, we're just taking it all in right now.
And, Bill, how are you going to avoid the classic Obama filibuster? He's even written about that before, you know, how you run out the clock on the interviewers, and I know you wrote about that in your column this week.
Yeah, and I did post the interview in Pinheads and Patriots that we did with him in 2008. You'll see how often I had to interrupt him. Now, it's easy to do that to a senator, but it's not that easy to do it to a president. I'm hoping that Mr. Obama will understand it's more of a conversation than an interview. He knows my style. He knows me. So, you know, I hope I don't have to interview him. I hope I don't have to interrupt him. But if I do, I will.
Bill, I want to move to Egypt. I'm sure you'll be asking questions about the uprising, Egypt on the brink. Still, today we had the president come out and say, well, you know, we'd like this transition to happen, but they seem to be backing off from the desire to have it be an immediate removal of Mubarak. There seems to be a little stop-and-start reaction on the part of the White House. What's your take so far?
You know, I don't know if that's true or not. We know that there is negotiation to get him out, Mubarak out of office as soon as possible, and that continues. We know that. And, you know, I don't think that the White House is going to play its hand, and they shouldn't. But I would be surprised if Mubarak holds on much longer. In fact, on the interview time on Sunday, he may be gone. So right now, I think they're working out logistics. Payment, they're going to buy him off, give him money, send him somewhere. You know the game.
Hey, Bill.
And then go ahead.
Yeah, today we learned, of course, the big tension now developing between the CIA and a lot of Democrats on Capitol Hill and the Obama administration, a lot of finger-pointing. You should have alerted us to this burgeoning uprising earlier. The CIA coming out yesterday on Capitol Hill with Dianne Feinstein saying, whoa, we let the administration know in November, December, that something was afoot in Egypt, that this could be a potential big problem, instability, yet we didn't know what was going to trigger it. Feinstein went ballistic, saying, oh, we needed to know a lot before. So the finger-pointing has already begun.
Well, what good does that do? You know, these pinheads in Capitol Hill, they need to wise up. This is all triggered by Tunisia. And these dictatorships were rumored for years to be on the rocks. So, I mean, I'm not going to blame U.S. intelligence services for this or the Obama administration. I'm not. Right now, there is chaos in the Arab world because it's a wreck, and Tunisia collapsed, so now others are going to try to do the same in their country. So what the United States has to do is basically be methodical and try to get the best people in power they can. Because if it's the Islamic Brotherhood, then it's World War III.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is, did we do enough groundwork early on? This is not a political statement. This is just a question. Did we do the groundwork early on to make those alliances with the secular leaders on the ground, people who could really be a force for good? Right now, it's unclear who those people are, but we certainly don't want it to be the Muslim Brotherhood to take advantage of this situation.
Well, look, I think the history shows us that it's very difficult to get any leadership. Look at Afghanistan. I mean, we got Karzai. It's very, very difficult to do this kind of thing. If Mubarak felt he was being undermined by the United States, if they were trying to make alliances with his opponents, that would have reverberated. I mean, there are a lot of unintended consequences to meddling in other people's affairs.
Now, Bill, is this going to be the most watched interview of all time in the history of mankind and the entire world, period, done?
It will be. There's no question it will be. And
All right,
that's
so
not it's not because of me or President Obama.
No.
It's because of the Internet. Everybody in the world will have access to this interview almost instantaneously. And I believe it will be the most watched interview of all time.
Well, Barbara Walters is melting out there because, of course, she had the record with Monica Lewinsky. So I'm thinking of how you allocate your time here. The domestic issues, obviously, the jobs numbers came out today. Very disappointing. Economists saying 36,000 jobs added. That's just horrific. And you have all these domestic concerns, but now all the foreign policy, national security concerns bubbling up. How do you allocate your time, and will it change up until the last minute potentially, given the facts on the ground changing in Egypt?
Yeah, it will change up until the last minute. But, you can't ask broad questions in a 14-minute interview. They've got to be very specific. And, you just can't ask macroeconomic questions. That's insane. It's going to be, I'm a simple man, as you know, Laura. I'm going to have very simple questions, and I'm going to answer them. And that's it. I can't get into these big, wide arc issues in that period of time. So there are going to be some punchy questions, very provocative questions in the sense that they're going to be simple. Everybody's going to hear them. They haven't been asked before. I can tell you that. They have these questions that I have, and I don't go in with written questions, but I know where I'm going to take it or the areas that I want to get into. And I'm going to ask questions that have not been asked. And they're going to be very punchy and short, bang. And we'll see what he does. But that's the secret to an interview of this short duration. It's going to be the fastest 50 you've ever seen. It's going to go like lightning.
I can't wait. Bill, thanks so much for joining us. We all can't wait to watch.
All right, great, Laura. We'll talk to you about it next week, I'm sure.
All right, sounds good. You're going to join me Monday on radio, too. And up next.